Hello everyone, welcome to my newest Let's Build of Cities Skylines 2, where we are gonna build a hexagonal city. A city made out of hexagons, industrial, residential and commercial, all in hexagons. Services are gonna be as fit as possible into hexagons, but won't always be doable. The first thing we're going to start with is removing roads and begin preparing the ground for the starting road networks, because hexagons are going to take up a lot of space and will require a lot of flat area. So that's what we're going to begin with. Now that the foundation is laid out for the first initial hexagon, it is time to start building. First of all, what is a hexagon? A hexagon is 6 equal lanes at 120-degree angle from each other. For the first part here, I do struggle a bit finding the right length and measures of how I want them to be set up, but once I start to figure it out and get building, it's quite a smooth process, because once you have the first one, it's very easy to build the next section. I do also connect the interior roads of the hexagon at a 60-degree angle where possible, and that's going to be the process for the rest of the build, making sure that they are at most possible a 60-degree inside. And one more detail I will be focusing on. I'm going to make this a walkable city. So on the outside of the hexagon, I will be adding pedestrian roads, but I will also add smaller pedestrian roads on the interior to make sure that there are walkways on the inside of the hex as well. The initial roadwork is now done. One thing I forgot to explain before I started was the roundabouts. The reason I add roundabouts is to hopefully create a more fluent traffic flow through the city to avoid stoplights. Now, before we add zones and decorations, we're gonna add trees to the as beautifications and hopefully to act as noise cancellation for the roads. For the outside of the hexagon, I'm gonna be using oak trees, and for the interior of the hexagon, I'm gonna be using chestnut trees for this specific one. But enjoy the tree planting. Now that we have planted the trees, we're also gonna fix the outer connection, and this one gave me quite the headache. I'm gonna come back to this one in a future episode, but for now, enjoy the chaos. We have our residential hex and commercial one as well. We have our outside connection. What we lack, however, is an industrial one. Before I start industrial one, I will be working on preparing the soil for that one. I spent quite a bit of time terraforming here, just trying to find out how I wanted to set it. Area being done, it is time to start preparing it for the new hex that will be going in there. I decided to put it above because I felt it would look nicer to have the city on the lower ground and the industrial on the higher ground. I will also be redoing the outside connection on that side. The industrial area is only gonna comprise of one central hex and not a big one like the residential one. This is just the initial industrial hex, and future industrial hexes might be much larger or about the same size. This is just to get that district going for zoning. Now that the foundations are put in place, it is time to start getting the services in. I'm starting with the services mainly because I want them down first before I add the zoning. What I'm really happy about in this process is how well I was able to fit the landfill into the hexagon. And we're gonna be going with the coal power plant because it's quite space efficient and it fits very well inside of the area. The graveyard is gonna be outside of the city for the time being because it's quite a large service. Everything is in place, service down, and let's get to zoning. For the first zone, I will be doing medium residentials on the outside of the main city hex. Commercial is going to go inside with low density. One thing I do find difficult with this game is finding the right balance between low density, medium density, and high density, as well as commercial. And that's going to be a challenge with this build as well. The industrial goes in really snug where it is right now, and I do find myself ending up with quite a nice balance where I don't lack an industrial. So for an initial city, this is actually quite nice, and I find myself finding a really good balance enjoy the zoning. There were a few issues I noticed during the process of the build afterwards. One big one was the fact that the terraforming had caused me issues in some places, so I ended up fixing that. I also added some pedestrian paths in other places where I felt it was needed. So most of the rest of the video is just me fixing issues. Enjoy. But that's going to be it for this episode. I had a lot of fun building today. I did decide to restart, but it was totally worth it because this one feels so much better than my first video, especially in terms of the design and layout. These videos I will try to upload every Sunday, but I can't promise it because just doing this video today was quite time consuming. If you have any feedback or any suggestions on how to improve them, I am all for taking them. Please be kind because I haven't really done any kind of video like this before, so there's a lot of improvements to be made. So thank you very much, and I hope you enjoyed it.